What is up, woke family? It's your boy Woke Ebuks, and I'm back again with another video. What we're going to be talking about in this video, we're just going to be watching a reaction video to women that are 35 and single and are starting to regret the decisions that they made in the past. Let's get it.
This is me. By now, I should have been at the wedding of my last single friend. But for some reason, I fell asleep. Obviously, there's something I don't want to face.
Let me just make this one point very, very clear. She just said that she was supposed to be at the wedding of her last single friend. The reason she didn't go is because she has to face reality that she's 35 and single, and she hasn't found the husband yet that is going to be the father to her children. You have to understand, in situations like this, as a woman starts to get older, her biological time clock starts to tick and tick and tick and tick and tick. At 35, you've lost roughly 90% or more of your eggs. So it's going to be very, very hard for you to get pregnant. Now, is it impossible? No. But the thing is that especially here in the West, we encourage women to just drink, party, go to school, focus on their careers, instead of trying to get them to be the best wife that they can be to their husband. And if they marry the right man, which they should be able to vet out through the talking stage and through the boyfriend and girlfriend stage, then that man will set you up with a business and you'll be set. You got your marriage, you have children, and now you have a business. So what else do you want more than that? But they try to flip the switch and try to tell women focus on your career and the man will come after. That's not true for majority of cases. And even if it is true, look at the situation with Mia Khalifa, how her husband was getting people were sending him videos of his wife before doing porn. You feel what I'm saying? You're not going to get taken seriously. It is what it is, man. Let's continue.
I'm not one of those girls who's always dreaming of white dresses and cute babies.
Vaya, bruto.
But in the last few years, I've seen all my friends get married, one by one. They move in with their boyfriends, get married, and have children. But I'm only there as a witness. Unlike my friends, I happen to live a gypsy life. As an assistant director, I travel from shoot to shoot. Action. For a few weeks, that film crew turns into a fleeting family. But when the film ends, so does that family.
Mariana Virginia Moon, ¿aceptas tomar como tu legítimo esposo a Hernán Javier Zúñiga?
For those of you who don't understand what they're speaking, I'm assuming they're speaking Portuguese. Let's continue.
Now, I'm the only single one left.
Se casa todo el mundo, abuela.
Se casa todo el mundo y vos no sé, estás ahí, papá en las moscas. Es muy feo quedarse sola.
In your 20s, you're free to do whatever you want.
And that's the problem. Like I said before, you're not being trained properly. Not you specifically, but I'm saying in general. The people in this society, the people in the West, people in the world. You might feel like in your 20s you're free to do whatever you want, but the 20s is an opportunity for you to really be able to build yourself into the man or woman you want to be. But a lot of people are lost. A lot of people are confused. A lot of people lack purpose. And then you wonder why people take advantage of you. You wonder why you're 30 and you're in an even worse position than you were when you're in your 20s, because you didn't use your 20s to build, to level up, to become the person you were supposed to become. All you wanted to do was smoke, drink, have intercourse with random people, and just devalue your body. It is what it is, man. You have to learn in certain situations, when you allow God to guide you, he's going to put you in positions of success. But you have to allow him to guide you. You don't, then you're putting yourself in a bad position. It is what it is.
Have boyfriends, lovers, one-night stands, work, study.
Look at most of the stuff she's talking about, one-night stands and all that stuff. And it's like, there's a reason why you're 35 and single, because you allow people to defile your body. You don't value yourself enough to be able to say, you know what, I want my man that's actually going to be my husband to take my virginity. I'm gonna hold myself. And even in a society now with the way things are, let's say that that's not the case. You allow yourself to catch so many bodies. On top of catching so many bodies, you just completely allow yourself to be dosed down by alcohol and hard drugs, right? And it's just and then you wonder why you're single. And that's not to say that you haven't been in any relationships before in the past, or women like you. But the reality is that you allow yourself to be disrespected because you don't value yourself. You don't see your value. If you were to see your value, then you should be trying to become the best woman that you could become in the future for your husband, right? Because your success is predicated off of two main things. It's predicated off of the amount of children you have with your man, obviously your husband, and then the relationships that you not only develop with people, right? The people that you don't know, but the people that you do know. How well are you maintaining those relationships? But to be honest, in the society in which we live right now, it's very, very hard for women, especially, to maintain the relationships, because they're developing a lot of masculine traits. And some might say it's because they're becoming career women now. I can't really speak on that. But what I can say is that if you want to become a career woman, do it with your husband's consent. Do it with your husband trying to be the main support factor. Because when you try to do it and then you carry on this mantra of being strong and independent, you're going to develop masculine traits. You develop masculine traits, it's going to be very, very hard for you to settle down with a man, because he's not going to want to deal with that. Because most women aren't going to want to deal with a man that's not making as much as them. You want a man that's making as much as you or more. And if he is in that situation where he is making more than you, or even as equal to the amount that you want, he's not going to want to deal with you if he can find a younger girl that's hotter than you and is less combative. It is what it is. Let's continue.
Just like men. But female freedom has an expiration date. When you turn 30, a conservative curtain falls. At every social gathering, you're confronted with one silent question.
Poeta Adonai Mevorach, Baruch Adonai Mevorach, Leolam Baed.
To her bar mitzvah? Well, hold on.
After all, I was raised in a traditional way, and I followed the rules to the letter.
No way you were raised in a traditional way and you're talking about one-night stands. Nah, get up out of here, man. Get up out of here with that. Tell that to the birds. No way you were raised, quote-unquote, traditional, but then you're talking about one-night stands. I'm all set on that, bro.
Until the time came to choose a boyfriend.
Buongiorno, siete su Natural Geographic.
I was looking for an intense, passionate love story. And I found many. Each one of them was the love of my life.
Listen to the delusion. She said each of them were the love of her life. You can only have one love of your life, not multiple. If you do, then you're confused.
I never imagined they would all end up together in a box of tapes.
¿Y vos qué pensás, mami?
Her mom was divorced. Oh my gosh.
¿Qué va a pasar?
Me imagino que a lo mejor vas a ir madurando y vas a valorar estar en pareja y vas a hacer un esfuerzo porque hay que hacer un esfuerzo para poder
Pero-
convivir con otra persona. Hay que hacer un gran esfuerzo, no es fácil.
Parte del ser humano es procrear, tener hijos, tratar de armar algo. Después, bueno, sí, creo que dura, dura. Ojalá que dure mucho tiempo. Pero si buscas la perfección, vas a estar, no vas a encontrarla nunca.
For once, I decide to look for a good guy. And hence Fernando. The perfect boyfriend. Especially for my family.
Abuela, él es de familia turca también, como
Ah,
vos.
sí, sefaradí.
I finally become the nice Jewish girl everyone wants me to be. Throughout our relationship, we attend 18 weddings. But when the time comes to plan our own, I realize I'm not being true to myself. I cannot be that perfect bride.
Hold on, let's read that. I can't see that. Hold on. 25% of me wants to get married. 25%, 27% of me wants to be free. So that's 52%. So you have a higher percentage of you that wants to be free than wants to get married, okay? 26% longs for a spiritual life. Is that spiritual life of God or is it of Satan? What do you consider spiritual? Excuse me, because I believe it's important to document between the two. Okay? And then 22% of you wants children. So this is the thing you have to understand. You mentioned a lot of things that I believe need to be refuted or need to be questioned. You talked about you were raised in a traditional household. Were you really raised in a traditional household? When you have a higher percentage of you that wants to be free than wants to be married? Because if you were raised in a traditional household, you would understand that at the end of the day, your role as a woman to an extent, not even to an extent, but your role as a woman in general, like I said, is to be able to be the best wife that you can be the best wife you can to your husband. That is the best thing that you can do, is to be the best wife that you can to your husband and to develop and maintain relationships with people and then give him children. Now, does that mean that you shouldn't want to feel free from time to time? No. Right? But there's a difference between being free in a relationship and then being free to do whatever you want to do. If you want to feel free to do whatever you want to do, then that means you're going against the traditional values. And understand that if you feel like you're free to do whatever you want to do and then you end up having children, you're losing your value, because let's say that you allow other men to come into the picture, they're not going to take you seriously because you had children with another man. So you really got to decide what you want to do. And then on top of that as well, too, like we mentioned before, you're 35. You're not getting any younger. Your eggs are disappearing. It's going to be a lot harder for you to have children. So it's like you wasted your whole 20s and half of your 30s. And it's not only you. There's other women just like you as well, too. If you know what I'm saying, that are going through similar situations. Like you have to make a decision in your life and ask yourself, what do you want? But that comes from you accepting your reality first. If you know you're not in a position to be able to attract a high value man, especially a man that's making 6 figures, then you need to settle. But the reality is that a lot of women in 2022 do not want to settle. They feel that they're better than settling. And it's like, if you don't want to settle, then you're going to end up single and lonely. We can only pray that this woman in the video doesn't die alone, right? That's not our prayer. But the reality is that she has a lot of expectations for somebody who's not really bringing that much to the table. She's more interested in having one-night stands. It is what it is, man. Like, you have to understand, when a woman tells you that she wants to be free, especially in the way that she has it categorized, she's basically trying to tell you she wants to be for the streets. She's not ready to settle down with you, and she'll waste years out of your time. Not saying that a man won't do the same thing as well too, but the thing is that the man, he might deal with other women and quote unquote be for the streets, like a lot of women like to say, even though we call those types of men homemakers, but he'll still commit to you if he sees you as a prize. You'll still be the main chick. Unless you're not wife material, then he won't commit to you. Let's continue.
I still don't know how to resolve this equation. But at least I learned a few things about myself. I don't want those intense, impossible relationships of my 20s. Nor do I want a perfect husband behind a white picket fence. And I definitely don't plan to spend my life alone. Now I realize that everything I was looking for was much closer than I thought. Whether with someone or alone, in those glimpses, when you love and accept yourself totally, the world around you changes. In the end, happiness is a choice, isn't it?
All right. So, we obviously heard it, but like I said, this is just a video to be able to address the situation in which we saw and to be able to hold parties accountable. You have a lot of things that you want, so you have to be able to weigh out the pros and cons and determine which ones are more important than others. And once you make those determinations, and from there you move accordingly in order to be able to put yourself and your future family in a position of success. If you understand, it's because you're woke. If you don't understand, unfortunately, you're not woke. This will be in this video. If you like this video, make sure you go spam that like button, leave comments, share this video with your friends, subscribe to the channel at Woke Ebuks, WOKEEBUKS. Tap the notification bell to get all the latest videos that I post. Patreon link will be down in the description below, and so will social media links. So make sure you'll give those a check. But without further ado, this coming into this live stream. This is Woke Ebuks, and I'm out.